This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. A myriad of people all over the world enjoy indulging in gambling. Some may bet on a horse, others may play blackjack, with the winner taking a certain amount of money, and others even use the internet to play poker for money on the internet. No matter what form gambling takes in any given case, and it has several positive effects on the gambler as well as adverse effects on the person who indulges in the activity and society at large. This is despite the negative image that has been historically associated with gambling. This paper is an in-depth analysis of the benefits of gambling, as well as the disadvantages associated with gambling. Benefits of gambling. Although it may sound unreal to many people, gambling contributes a given percentage of the GDP of countries worldwide. The percentage is particularly significant in economies where the practice is predominant, like in the United States. With this discussion, it is apparent that gambling forms part of the economy, and its contribution to improving the economic stability of countries cannot be ignored. Also concerning this, the gambling industry offers employment to many people. A lot of people have been able to become financially stable courtesy of the jobs they have in casinos. The jobs are mainly related to facilitating the gambling process. That is, in a single casino, there may be several gambling tables to be facilitated, and there will also be a myriad of other services apart from gambling to be offered. This acts as a source of employment for the locals. In the same way, gambling has opened an opportunity for business people because in order for people to engage in gambling, there must be facilities that facilitate the same. A huge number of business people have exploited these opportunities to become millionaires. The casinos may also act as tourist attractions for people interested in gambling. This will, in turn, translate to big profits for local people. The casinos also pay taxes to the local government, which helps to boost the local economy. This is because lavish casinos typically get many visitors from out of town who look forward to having a good time while gambling. This is thus a boost to the economy of the local people. To exemplify this, consider Las Vegas, Nevada, for example. The city boasts of being the most prominent gambling destination in the world. In the town, 60% of the employed people work in casino-related jobs. This is a big number of people, especially considering the fact that the city has a population of about 2 million residents. Another benefit of gambling is the fact that it is common among societal idlers. It, therefore, occupies these people, who may otherwise be engaged in criminal activities like assaults, burglary, robberies, drug peddling, and also immoral activities like drug abuse, prostitution, etc. Gambling can therefore be credited for reducing crime rates in some areas to some extent. This is even though the activity can potentially increase crime rates. The government and charity organizations tend to use gambling in promoting charity events. For instance, gambling is used to raise money for charity events by holding big bingo games or involving the public in lotteries. This is a good cause supported by gambling, thus, it can be classified as a gambling benefit. Gambling is also beneficial to career gamblers in that it is a source of income for them. Some people can survive on gambling as their sole source of income. The gamblers also benefit from the gambling process in that the process will take much of their idle time, and thus the gambler will lack time for engagement in criminal and immoral activities. Above all, it is a good source of entertainment for the people who engage in it. As absurd as it may sound, gambling has some health benefits. Research has shown that retirees who engage in gambling activities after their retirement do not have as many health problems as their counterparts who do not engage in gambling. Gambling has been identified as a means of avoiding old age problems like alcoholism, bankruptcy, depression, and other related problems. Disadvantages of gambling. Gambling has a number of disadvantages. One of these disadvantages is the fact that gambling is very addictive. People who are addicted to gambling can bet until they deplete all their resources. These resources may include savings, personal belongings, and family assets. Worse still, it is common for people who are obsessed with gambling to borrow money for gambling after they lose everything they have to gambling. After they become bankrupt, people addicted to gambling may even turn to illegal activities in a bid to restore their lost wealth. Those addicted to gambling also tend to be more violent to their family members than those who do not engage in gambling activities. This leads to adverse effects on the psychology of children and spouses. Many gambling addicts are male, so they may even be left by their wives due to bankruptcy brought about by gambling and violent behavior. Another disadvantage is that relying on gambling for income is very uncertain, and thus it is very difficult for a gambler to achieve financial stability. This is a result of the speculative nature of gambling. If a person relies on gambling, it is complicated for him/her to be away from the place where he/she gambles for a long. Of common knowledge is the fact that gambling is usually a haven for criminals and gangsters. It thus follows that some gambling sessions could be very unfair. The gambling equipment may be faulted to benefit one person, or a person may dictate a win by coercion. This may happen if the aforementioned is not willing to let anyone win, and if that happens, he is willing to follow the winner and rob the money. Some gambling sessions have even ended with killings. Gambling has also been associated with a number of other criminal and immoral activities. Gambling has oftentimes been accompanied by prostitution because gamblers tend to be generous with their gambling income. Thus, after gambling games, it is not unusual to see winners of the games taking off with girls in the casino. It can thus be argued that gambling promotes immorality in society. In addition to this, gambling is also accompanied by the sale of drugs and the consumption of drugs. Although licensed gambling sites are prohibited from carrying out such activities, it is difficult to monitor their activities, and thus such activities end up being carried out in gambling sites. If you want to find more works like this essay on gambling benefits and disadvantages, head over to ivypanda.com. It has a collection of free samples with thousands of submissions covering virtually all academic subjects. No registration required to access it.